Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Time for Tidbit Tuesdays. So this week, the last few weeks, I've had a lot of interesting calls from clients who've had billing issues with Baylor Scott and White. If you go to Baylor Scott and White, their doctors may be wonderful. This is not a knock against the doctors or the care that they give. What I do have concerns about is how they operate their billing and admin. Way too many things are done incorrectly. From billing the wrong insurance, billing the facility incorrect to the person's insurance, by not covering a newborn. They paid the claim, and this particular client has actually Baylor Scott White insurance plan. They went to Baylor Scott White, had their baby. The plan paid for mom, but didn't pay for the baby, saying he wasn't covered yet. Babies are automatically covered the first 30 days. And now we're having to dispute and argue with them to get them to pay the bill because the client's receiving a bill for $5,000 for services that would have been covered by insurance. So it's crazy. I see this happen all the time. And I hate it because I'm sure they have very good doctors there. But if you're going to have a nightmare on the back end with billing, I always strongly encourage my clients, if you don't have to go to Baylor Scott and White, don't go there. Don't go there. St. David's is very easy to work with from a billing admin standpoint. Seton is not horrible either. They both offer generous cash discounts if you're a cash patient. They offer great financial assistance programs if you need help getting a bill paid or if you're unable to pay a bill. Not so much a Baylor Scott and White. They just don't have a very robust financial program, which is really strange because they're supposed to be a nonprofit. Um, but they just don't, and their fees are higher than the other two facilities. The same services are higher at their place. So I strongly encourage you, if you do seek care there, to look at your itemizations when you receive those bills. Make sure your insurance paid correctly. And if not, then yes, you can fight it, you can dispute it. I strongly encourage you to do so, but it can be very frustrating because they're just very difficult to work with. Even once it goes to collections, they don't want to offer any kind of payment discount if you pay the bill, which I find so strange because they're charging these really high fees, and they're not trying to help patients who want to take care of their bill take care of the bill. So why is this happening? Well, I really think it's due to a lack of training the employees, not spending enough resources in training, and maybe hiring enough people. I get everybody's short staffed, but this is important stuff. And having come from the medical field, this is not rocket science. It's not. It can be a little complicated, but if you understand billing and coding, which you should, if you're in a billing department at a hospital, then you should be coding and billing correctly. They should be certified coders, but they're humans, right? People can make mistakes. I get that. But the process to get it corrected shouldn't be so onerous. I mean, oh my goodness, it is so difficult to get anything resolved. Again, I hate that I have to caution people on this, but I really feel like, especially people that live in Lakeway, because Baylor Scott White is right there. If you need the ER, please go to the ER in the Galleria, St. David's. Or better yet, go to urgent care because you're not going to get as much of a sticker shock if you go to urgent care if possible. Have a plan. So I tell all my clients, have a plan. Know ahead of time where your insurance is accepted, and even in the old days, we would put it on a little sticky and stick it on the fridge, which urgent care you need to go to if something happens, which ER you can go to, because if you're having an emergency, that's not something you want to have to stop and think about where to go. And again, if you're fearful of dying, don't worry about the insurance piece. go. I don't want anyone to die because they didn't seek medical care or were worried they were going to get a big bill. Yes, they may get a big bill. Um, but we'll just have to deal with that on the back end. I don't want anyone not to seek care because they're so afraid of the bill that they're going to get. So, the buyer beware clause is what I'm trying to warn people about. Know what your insurance, who's in network with your insurance, where to go, um, and be prepared so that maybe you don't end up with big bill, and just know that if you are going to have some billing issues with Baylor Scott and White, it's going to take a lot of patience on your part to try to get that resolved. I have tips and tricks for that, but it's still very, very frustrating to get them to work with you to get an issue resolved. So, until next week, peace out.